someone just figured out how to cut your Claude Fable 5 bill by up to 70%. And the trick is gloriously stupid. Turn your code into a picture and make the model squint at it. This is Mainframe, your daily guide through the AI chaos. What actually happened, who is winning, and how to take yourself to the next level. It is Saturday, July 4th, 2026. I am Nova.
And I am Dex.
On today's Mainframe, the pxpipe hack that renders your context into PNG images to exploit a pricing hole, and it is backed by real benchmarks. Then, Fable 5 subscription cliff on July 7th, and what Anthropic just clarified about it. Anthropic goes chip shopping at Samsung. Nvidia stops just selling shovels and starts taking a cut of the gold. And a tool spotlight on LangChain's Open Wiki plus pxpipe itself. Let's get into it.
Quick note before we roll. The voices you are hearing are AI. The reporting, the pics, and the opinions are human-made. Now, the board.
Here is where the ground sits today. The whole industry has pivoted from training to inference, running models for users at scale. And that is where the money war now lives. On Wednesday, The Information reported Anthropic is in early talks with Samsung to build its own custom AI chip. Samsung is in discussions with Anthropic to manufacture custom AI chips through its foundry, expected to use Samsung's leading-edge 2-nanometer process, and Anthropic is considering advanced packaging capabilities.
How real is it? Because in talks is doing a lot of work.
Early. The project remains at an early stage. Anthropic has not begun detailed chip design, testing, or manufacturing. Anthropic told TechCrunch its diversified stack of Google, Amazon, and Nvidia chips stays central. But the direction is unmistakable. OpenAI already announced its Jalapeno inference chip with Broadcom. TrendForce projects shipments of servers using custom application-specific chips will grow 44.6% in 2026 versus 16.1% for general-purpose GPU servers. Everyone is going full stack because owning the silicon is the only way to bend the serving cost curve.
And for a builder, that means what concretely?
It means serving costs are on a downward escalator, but years out, not this quarter. So do not give the savings away. The leverage is not the model. It is the workflow you own around it. Which is exactly why today's lead story matters. You do not have to wait for a 2-nanometer chip to cut your bill. You can do it this afternoon with a proxy, which brings us to today's sponsor, Outpace. Here is the thread. The big labs are going full stack, from silicon to serving, because owning the whole chain is where the leverage lives. Outpace is that idea applied to shipping software. It is not a freelancer and not a faceless mega agency. It is a system. A 30-year operator who built real businesses, real estate, hospitality, food, a theater, now aiming a whole team of AI agents at one client's project at a time. Strategy to ship. The agents do the work. One senior operator directs them. And at the end, you own the code and the keys. If you have a project that has been sitting in a backlog, book a 30-minute call at outpace.media. That is outpace.media. Go.
The wire. Lead item is the one everyone is losing their minds over.
pxpipe. Built by teamchong, MIT licensed, and it exploded on Hacker News and X in the last 24 hours. Min Choi is carrying it. Kim Anismus is analyzing it. Dozens of write-ups overnight. The idea? pxpipe is a local proxy that intercepts Claude Code requests, takes bulky text context, and renders it as PNG images before sending upstream. And the model reads the pixels back with its vision head.
And why on earth is that cheaper?
Because of a pricing quirk. An image's token cost is fixed by its pixel dimensions, not by how much text is inside it. A 1928 by 1928 image costs about 4,761 vision tokens, but holds up to roughly 92,000 characters. So dense content packs about 3.1 characters per image token versus about 1 per text token. So you cram dense code into a picture and pay a flat rate.
Numbers?
The README reports a 59 to 70% lower end-to-end bill on production workloads, and a session demo showing $42.21 plain versus $6.06 with pxpipe on identical tasks. And crucially, it held up on benchmarks. On SWE Bench Lite, it resolved 10 of 10 tasks on both arms with a 65% request size reduction. And on SWE Bench Pro, it resolved 14 of 19 with pxpipe on versus 15 of 19 without.
Where does it break?
Exactly where you would fear. The project warns compression is lossy. It is not safe for byte-exact recall of short strings like hashes, secrets, or identifiers. And in testing, it exhibited silent confabulation rather than errors. And it is model-specific. Opus 4.7 and 4.8 misread about 7% of renders, and GPT 5.5 degrades on imaged context, so both are opt-in. The default targets Fable 5 and GPT 5.6, where it reads clean. And every analyst flags the obvious. If a solo project can plausibly have the coding agent bill, both Anthropic and framework vendors will notice. And this specific arbitrage window is unlikely to stay open indefinitely. So treat the 60% as a window rather than a durable floor.
So this ties straight to Fable 5's clock, doesn't it?
It does. And that is our update. We covered Fable 5's global return on July 1st. What is new since then? The subscription cliff and the walk back. July 7th is the last day Fable 5 is included in subscription plans. Through that date, Pro, Max, Team, and Select Enterprise get it for up to 50% of weekly usage limits. And from July 8th, every Fable 5 token is billed through metered usage credits at standard API rates. That rate is confirmed: $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output.
People assumed that meant Fable was becoming pay-to-play forever.
And on Thursday, a Claude Code lead engineer, Tariq, pushed back on X. The Delta. A Claude Code lead engineer clarified Fable is expected to return to subscriptions once Anthropic has enough capacity, saying, while it comes off subscriptions after July 7th, they aim to restore it as a standard part of subscriptions as soon as capacity allows. Translation: it is a capacity crunch, not a permanent upsell. So your move is timing. Bank the heavy work now.
Meaning what specifically before July 7th?
Large migrations, architecture reviews, security sweeps, and durable plan documents are the highest leverage uses of the window tokens, because cheaper models can execute against those artifacts after July 7th. Spend Fable's included window on the expensive thinking, then hand execution to Sonnet 5.
Last wire item, Nvidia.
On July 1st, Nvidia formalized what Semi-Analysis and Amir Afradi flagged: the AI Compute Partnership. Nvidia unveiled a financing vehicle under which the chipmaker acts as a financial backstop for neocloud customers' GPU deployments and, in return, takes a recurring share of the cloud revenue those GPUs generate. The first two adopters are Sharon AI, planning up to 40,000 Grace Blackwell GB300 GPUs, and Firmus Technologies, building a 360-megawatt campus in Indonesia, targeting up to 170,000 GPUs.
So Nvidia stops selling shovels and takes a cut of the gold.
Exactly, and it guarantees a floor. Under the partnership, Nvidia guarantees a floor utilization rate on deployed GPUs. For a builder, the read-through is simple. More inference capacity is being financed into existence, which reinforces the thesis that serving prices keep grinding down. Structure your client contracts to keep that spread.
Tool Lab. 2 picks, both fresh.
First, the trending one. OpenWiki from LangChain, shipped this week. It is an open-source agent and CLI for generating and maintaining code-base documentation. It creates a wiki for your repo, connects that wiki to your coding agent, and keeps it updated as your code changes. The insight is the Claude.md problem. Coding agents already read files like agents.md or Claude.md for instructions, but those are not the right place to store hundreds of pages of docs. They should point the agent toward context, then let it retrieve what it needs.
Install path.
Run the OpenWiki CLI. It creates initial documentation in an OpenWiki directory and automatically appends prompting to your agents.md or Claude.md, so your coding agent references it when searching for context. Then, the durable part. Add the included GitHub action to run on a schedule, once a day, with the update flag, and it checks which commits landed, uses git diffs to understand what changed, then updates the wiki. Credit to Brace Sproul and the LangChain team. Set it up once, and your agent stops relearning your repo every session.
And the hidden gem?
pxpipe itself. Credit teamchong. Not on any curated trending list a week ago, it is a show HN that broke out overnight. First command. Run it as a local proxy in front of Claude Code. Keep the default model set to Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 and open the dashboard. It measures savings per request against a free count tokens counterfactual logged in an events file, so you can rederive the number yourself. The daily workflow change. On long Claude Code sessions, where the whole history rides along every call, you image the settled bulk and pay pennies, while routing any byte-exact task to a text subagent.
Deep dive. Pick one.
The through line of this whole week is one idea. The token is the unit of value, and nobody fully controls how many a task eats. Anthropic is exploring a 2-nanometer chip to make each token cheaper to serve. Nvidia is refinancing whole data centers to pump out more inference. And a solo dev with pxpipe just proved you can undercut all of it today by exploiting a pricing seam, rendering text as images.
But you keep flagging the catch.
Because it matters. These are all the same bet from different altitudes. The labs bet on silicon, the neoclouds bet on financing, the hacker bets on a proxy. 2 of those take years. 1 takes an afternoon, and it is lossy. The discipline that separates a cost cut from a cost disaster is measurement. pxpipe is honest about this. It puts its worst flaw, silent misreads of exact strings, at the top of the docs. Here is how you actually put it into action without getting burned.
Steps.
1. Before July 7th, run your heaviest planning work on Fable 5 while it is included. Migrations, architecture reviews, durable specs, and save those artifacts. 2. Stand up pxpipe as a proxy on one long Claude Code session with the dashboard open. Run a real task twice, once with imaging on, once off, and compare cost and correctness from the events log. Do not trust the headline number. 3. Hard rule it. Route anything touching hashes, keys, IDs, exact numbers to a plain text subagent. Imaging off, no exceptions. 4. Write the routing decision into a Claude.md rule so the choice survives the next session and the next teammate. Cheap by default, exact on purpose.
And when Anthropic closes the pricing hole?
Then you have already banked weeks of savings, and you keep the measurement habit, which is the actual durable asset. The tool is temporary. The instrumented workflow is forever. Level up this week. Install pxpipe on one long-running Claude Code session. Run a task with imaging on and off, and read your own numbers off the events log before you trust it. That single measured test is worth more than any benchmark someone tweets at you.
And if you want every story, number, and link from today in your inbox, the free Mainframe newsletter is the written version of this whole show. One email, every morning, no digging.
Subscribe, tell one builder who would rather ship than doom scroll, and we will see you tomorrow. I am Nova.
I am Dex. Happy 4th. Go build something.